everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring Wake Up, Wake Up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey. Wake up, wake up. Oh.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May 12th, 2023. This is Wake Up in Provincetown. My name's Bob.
My name's Harrison.
We have a wonderful show for you today.
We really do. We're talking really fast because we have so much in this show.
We're trying to jam a lot in. It's a big, big show. I got to talk to my dear friend Amber Lord, who's running the Squealing Pig, about what it's like to run a family out here. It's not easy.
Yeah. We also have Matt King coming in to talk about this upcoming Food and Wine Festival this November, giving us a little peek at what's going to be going on.
Our artist spotlight this week is painter, sculptor, and all-around fabulous woman, Barbara Cohen, who I had a great time chatting with at the Commons for her show there.
Yeah.
What else?
We also have Scott, Mr. Cakes from Casa Valentina.
Which opened last night.
He's going to come in and tell us about how it went and a little about the show.
Before that, how was your week?
My week was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, after the show last week, I worked here at the brewery and then scooted right on over to First Tea, which was wicked cute. I have a cute little picture of me and some boys that I ran into.
It was a really busy First Tea, they said.
It really was. I was shocked. And it was also cold, and people were like, it's tea, I should wear shorts and a tank top. But it's also May.
I saw pictures of people in parkas.
Yeah. It was a weird sight, because you'd like see someone in short shorts and a tank top next to someone looking like they were in the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It warmed up over the weekend, though.
Yeah, but it was tons of fun. They're open on weekends till about mid-June, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday is solid gold tea, and you can still get your townie passes if you go to the Boat Slips website. Under their frequently asked questions site, it tells you all about the townie passes. And just so you know, if you live in Truro or Wellfleet, they extended townie passes just because they understand that due to the housing crisis, people that are members of our community have to live outside of Provincetown.
More on that later.
Also, this picture was taken by Dan McKeon. Go to the Boat Slips Facebook page, follow them right now. Every day, Dan McKeon is there taking pictures of everyone, and he posts them every day, and they're really awesome. It's fun to go back and look, and that cute boy that you saw across might even be tagged on one of those pictures, so you can stalk them.
That's how you're finding out people's names?
Sure.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. What did you do this week?
I mean, I worked, and then I went to my First Tea on Sunday, which of course was solid gold. And it was way warmer than it was on Friday.
Good.
So it was like a proper spring tea day. And we had dinner at Front Street, then I worked all week, and now we're back.
Cute.
We have a question on the screen right now asking what were the results of the voting in Provincetown.
We're gonna get there.
Give us a minute. Wowzers. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, but other things I did this week. I hosted trivia with Ann Hutchinson, who I think might fill in for me while I'm in the Fantastics this summer at the Provincetown Theater. Buy tickets for the Fantastics and put trivia on your calendar every Monday at 7 o'clock here at the brewery. It's going to be me through June, and then I think Ann is going to take over for me for the months of July and August. She did a really, really good job.
She's genius.
Yeah. Last night, I also did something really special. Here at the Provincetown Brewing Company, we did a reading, and it was so incredible. It was so touching. So if you don't know the story, so at the brewery, we're doing a 3-week reading series that is going to cover the book Let the Faggots Burn, which is kind of a memoir of the Upstairs Fire, which was a gay bar that was firebombed in the 70s in New Orleans. Each chapter tells the story of one of the people who was there that night, and just who they are, how they fit into the community, how they related to the Upstairs, and it was really touching, really beautiful, and to hear the story of such a beautiful queer space while being in a queer space and looking around at all the people that are your family and your community, and then reading about this family and the community that was so devastated. It was really, really touching. I have a picture of Chris Hartley, who read first. He got about 8 words into his chapter before he started crying.
He's a softie.
He's such a softie. I love that about him, because he seems like a little, kind of stoic, and then you put a microphone in his hand and he starts crying every time. Yeah. But that was tons of fun. It was amazing. It's going to be 8 o'clock every Thursday night. It's directed by Brittany Rolfs. Put it on your calendar.
Are you going to be part of it every week?
No, there's going to be about 10 people reading a week. I think it's going to be a different group each time. Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm going to go because I want to know more. Yeah.
It's hard not to imagine it happening here. Like when you're in a room full of people, which I imagine that room was probably like. Sheesh.
Oh, I also went up the monument.
You did?
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like right there, so you never do it, but I've done it twice now.
I've only ever done it twice?
Yeah. I went up with Sunny, Joao, and Brittany. It was tons of fun. And I want to tell a secret, but I don't want to tell, because it's going to be a well-kept secret of how we did it.
Okay.
We found a secret pass that let all of us go for free.
Oh.
But I won't tell you where to get it, but if you know, you know.
Was it on a clear day? Could you see forever?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there a picture up there just now of the four of you?
Yeah, looking really cute. The funny thing is like I'm such a Libra, and in the way that like I'm scared of heights, and usually I'm very nervous, but Sunny was so scared that it made me not scared.
Sunny's scared of heights?
Yeah. He was very much like hugging the wall while we were up there.
Wait, since you cheated your way into the monument, does that mean you did not take the funicular?
We didn't take the funicular, but I feel like we could have.
Oh, okay.
We just didn't try.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the pass that you had is good for the funicular?
Yes, I think. We didn't try.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me during the
I will.
report.
Let's talk about things going on this week, and then we'll do Anne Hutchinson. This isn't this week, but I did want next Saturday, the film festival is doing a pickleball tournament as a fundraiser. It's Saturday, May 20th from 9 to 3 at Mata Field. It's going to obviously benefit the film festival. You can go to their website and register if you want to compete. Yeah.
Tomorrow from 12 to 3 at the Red Inn, where he and I will be behind the bar, is the annual Portuguese Festival fundraiser. The artist this year whose painting is going on the t-shirts is Julian Cardinal, a really talented young local painter. And it's always a fun party. You get to see a lot of the old timers, the Portuguese families.
Yeah.
So go, I think it's a $20 suggested donation at the door of the Red Inn, 12 to 3. Come have some Portuguese kale soup. It's the best in town, honestly.
Yeah. And hang out with me and Bob.
Yeah.
Also tonight at the Vol is Mikey Saba's 50th birthday.
Saba's 50.
Yeah, DJ James Cerny is going to be there. It's going to be tons of fun.
5-0.
This Sunday is Mother's Day, and I obviously want to wish my mother a happy Mother's Day, but also my sister, who is her first Mother's Day as a mother.
Oh, did you send her a card?
It hasn't happened yet. It's on Sunday.
Yeah, but you would have to have sent it for her to get it in time.
She might get it late.
Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there, Amber Lord.
Yeah. And also, as you are in town over the next week, there were some restaurants that opened this past week. Cafe Heaven opened for breakfast this Thursday. They're going to be open for breakfast, I think, until next week when they're opening for dinner.
Next week, dinner and breakfast and lunch. The Mayflower is back, finally. Mr. Lino opened last night.
One of my faves.
It's full on spring, you guys. The restaurants are blooming.
Yeah.
Everything's coming back open for you. Come and enjoy it.
Yeah. What's the weather?
You want to take it away, Anne Hutchinson?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Hello, it's me, your weather Anne, and my goodness, everyone is getting so excited about the weather. We're well into May. People are getting so excited about the weather, they won't fucking shut up about it. I mean, come on, find something else to talk about. That's my job. And on that note, what I want to say about the weather is that while you get excited about it, don't forget that you have to wear the proper clothing, okay? You cannot just be out here exposed to the elements. You gotta wear something that, I don't know, holds its own, maybe bites back a little bit. That's why I love this piece right here. I mean, there's even some weather-resistant material up here. It's like melted plastic or something. It protects your, I don't know, your esophagus from the weather. If you could just zoom in, I mean, look at this material. My God, that is thick. That is like canvas in a boatyard. My goodness. But it still feels like nothing's there, and that's why you wear clothing. You don't even want to feel the weather, right? So, I mean, I can't feel anything. This has so many threads. It has just chafed off all my skin. Too many threads, really. But it's exclusively sold right here at Shalom's gift shop. Oh my gosh, they have so many teas at Shalom's gift shop. That's interesting, right? Shalom in Hebrew means peace, and I definitely feel at peace when all these messages are screaming at me. But I love teas, I really do. Some might say I am a tea. I mean, will I ever tell you the weather? Who knows? But the best thing you can do for the weather is invest in future weather. And the best way to invest in future weather, I mean, for some reason, every time these sell, I get $7.50. So, invest in your local weather person and make sure the weather keeps coming. Back to you, Bob and Harrison.
Thank you for the weather, Anne.
Accurate as always.
Always.
I want one of those Anne Hutchinson t-shirts.
I know, I saw them.
you
They're
see
so cool.
that?
Who did them? Benoit?
And Benoit designed it, yes, and
Really
you can
cool.
purchase them at Shalom Gift Shop.
Work. There was an event that we forgot. We had Megan on the show a few weeks ago.
Happy Mother's Day, Megan.
Happy Mother's Day. But Once on This Island is tonight and tomorrow at the Provincetown School. Go check it out. The performance that they did while they were here was incredible, so I know it's going to be a phenomenal show. Support our community. Yeah.
News?
News. Good news. The Sagamore. Oh, let's do it. So the results of the election this past week. So last Tuesday was election day, and the results rolled in late that night. But Eric Borg and Austin Miller were elected to the select board. Congratulations, gentlemen.
In what can only be described as a landslide.
It was kind of a landslide. So Eric Borg is the co-owner of the brewery that we're sitting in right now. He served on the Visitor Service Board and also the Zoning Board of Appeals. Austin Miller is on both of the town's housing committees, so we're really excited to have people with those experience on the select board. Borg got 668 votes. Miller got 602 votes. Knight was in third with 299, and Austin Siegel with 128
Gordon
votes.
Siegel.
Oh yeah. Austin Siegel is someone I went to middle school with. That's why that came out.
Who did not run for office.
Who did not,
also.
no. Turnout was slightly down from 2 years ago, from 42% of voters to 27%, but the Independent did speak with them, and they said they thought it was because it was a less contentious election because the four candidates kind of like were in a similar mindset. Like there wasn't a huge disagreement about issues like there was a couple years ago with Lise, Oriana, and Leslie.
I was talking to some old-timer friends of mine, and they were like, time was you could win with 300 votes. Now people are getting almost 700 votes.
Damn.
That's, even though it's less than 30% of the electorate, that's still a solid turnout.
Yeah.
And that seems like a mandate. Like 700 votes? Way to go, guys.
But congratulations to Eric and Austin.
And there you go. Whoever was commenting in the questions, what about the election? You're welcome.
Hi, Roger.
What else?
We'll stay in that same vein. So at the select board meeting this past Monday, so Police Chief Jim Golden wrote a letter to the select board in a request to give a raise to seasonal police officers. So the select board voted to give seasonal service officers a $1 raise, along with a $3,000 hiring and retention bonus, half at the beginning and half at the end of the season. In the letter, Police Chief Jim Golden said that this would go directly in support of their housing costs. He said that he's had 2 candidates drop out in the last few weeks because they couldn't find housing at all, and a third almost dropped out, but he found housing in Harwich, which is about an hour away without summer traffic, which I'm glad that happened, but I don't think that is ideal for him or anyone.
So that's a summer cop who has to drive an hour each way.
Yeah, and I think
to and from work.
Yeah, and that's also a testament to the idea, or like in opposition to people who are like, people need to start living in Truro and Wellfleet. It's like, there's nowhere to live there either.
Right.
It's like, that is the closest this person was able to find, an hour drive away.
Is that cop also entitled?
In Police Chief Jim Golden's letter, he cited, and this is a quote, the decline in housing stock, conversions including second homes, and the lucrative attraction of weekly rental income as causes of the department's housing shortages. And I just want to say, I need a study. I need a study to believe him.
We're not just going to take his word that
No.
that's the cause?
No.
Where did you get your data, Chief Golden?
Yeah. Next story. Another thing that opened this past week was Bagel Hound. So Ellery and Claire formerly owned the Salty Market, and then they started doing bagels on weekends at the Salty Market, and it became such a huge hit that they sold the Salty Market and then opened Bagel Hound in Wellfleet. It's been such a success that they opened a second location just this past week in Provincetown in the old P-Town Scoop location. And I love ice cream so much, but I am willing to give up one of my ice cream shops to have bagels in
One
town.
of my ice cream shops.
I'm a regular at every ice cream shop in town. So I'm bummed to see P-Town Scoop go, but ecstatic to see a really delicious bagel place in town.
And bagels aren't just for breakfast anymore. You can get a bagel lunch sandwich.
You should go to their Instagram, take a peek at their lunch sandwiches. They look wildly delicious.
Have you been yet?
No,
You better go.
I'm not eating carbs.
Oh.
That's gonna be where I break my diet though. So last week, our beloved cameraman Ethan was out of town and he got to meet one of his idols, Rebecca Black. She is a pop star. You might remember her from Friday. Do you remember the song Friday, Friday? It was
A viral sensation.
it coined the term cringe pop.
Ooh.
Yeah, but she has since grown up. She was like 12 when that came out and has become a bona fide pop star. If you want to listen to her, I would recommend New Moon by Mo. She's featured on that. It's one of my favorite songs. But Ethan is out of town again. He is going to be at the Ali Forney Seat at the Table event. Summer of Sass rented a table, and they're all going to be there along with Kristen Becker, the whole Sass crew. And Kristen Becker is there to introduce Jonathan Hawkins because him and Paolo are getting the Luminary Award.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
guys.
congratulations to them for all of their work in support of the queer community. So congratulations. Let's talk Dune Shacks.
Okay.
So this past week, scandal. So 8 Dune Shacks are now available for 10-year leases according to a May 1st announcement of the National Park Services. Applications are judged by 6 criteria, one of them being how much rent the bidder offers to pay. The 5 additional criteria are knowledge of the surrounding environment, capacity to perform required maintenance, commitment to public access opportunities, and availability to use the shacks, and commitment to the values of the historic district and continuation of tradition. It's a lot of people are having feelings about the Dune Shacks, which a lot of people viewed as a community resource being turned into what the Cape Cod Times and the Boston Globe called a real estate opportunity. Yeah. You know a little more about the Dune Shacks than I, right?
I mean, anytime I've ever stayed in a Dune Shack, it was through one of the nonprofit organizations that run them. So Jay Critchley's, the Provincetown Community Compact and the Peaked Hills Trust. I think between the two of them run like 5 or 6 of the Dune Shacks. And then the ones that the National Park Services are sort of taking over have been traditionally kind of run by families that have sort of inherited leases that maybe lapsed a long time ago. I mean, it's a very unpopular move locally. It feels like these decisions are being made by people who maybe don't know as much about this community as, say, us. But I mean, I guess, listen, I can see a little bit both sides of this because ever since the National Seashore was created in the 60s, it was like, this is national parkland. These shacks, which have been here for a while, are now on like federally owned land.
Right.
And so there's like a element of it that's sort of eminent domain where like some of these Dune Shacks have over the decades fallen into a little bit of disrepair. And so now you have the National Park Services trying to figure out a way to get them maybe better taken care of, I guess. But also, we're talking about cultural history for Provincetown, and there are some families who, are still around, who are still, managing their own Dune Shacks, and it's been a very hot button, unpopular move, it seems, by the National Park Services, and it's just kind of ugly,
Yeah. I think if this continues, if this ends up being the plan that happens, I just hope that the rent the bidder offers to pay isn't the #1 priority, and it more prioritizes the commitment to the value of historic district, things like that, the upkeep, the availability, things like. I think that's more important than the amount of money they're willing to pay. I just hope that it's not like that. Those 5 extra criteria aren't just lip service.
Well, we're going to find out as soon as they, I think the applications are due by July 1st or something. So really, they're talking about who's going to be leasing these starting next summer and for the 10 years after that. Rent, they're throwing rent in as one of those criteria. And I mean, it's likely, I'm just guessing, that is going to be like the one of the top criteria.
Yeah.
The ability to pay a lot in rent and maintain them.
Which is good.
Sure. I mean, these aren't shacks that I was ever able to go see anyway, so.
A big congratulations to the Provincetown Independent and their staff. This past week, they won 16 New England Press Awards. Congratulations. So they got first place honors in coverage of the pandemic, social issues, and racial justice. Paul Benson won for social issues for his article in Provincetown, No Lease, Triple Rent, and a Move-Out Date. Casey Myers won for racial issues for Jamaican business owners come to the front of the house. Paul Sullivan and Abraham Storer won third prize for editing for the Arts and Minds section.
Congratulations, Independent.
Yeah. We use their newspaper as a source of really great journalism for stories that we share with you. A lot of the stories I'm sharing with you today got information from them, so thank you.
If you want to learn a little bit more about the Dune Shacks, Paul Benson's cover story is on this week's Independent.
Yeah, it's really incredible. So get a subscription. Do you want to talk about Republicans getting theirs?
I guess.
So George Santos was indicted on 13 counts, including money laundering, theft of public funds, and materially false statements to Congress. He surrendered himself to the police on Wednesday and pleaded not guilty to all counts. So apparently this is what happened. He told supporters to contribute to an unnamed company, saying that that's how they could support his candidacy. And then he spent that money on luxury designing clothing and his credit card payments. I figured he'd look better then. Wouldn't he dress better if he spent all that money on luxury designer
Maybe it
clothing?
wasn't all that much money.
Right. His expenditure report was listed as a penny short of the mandatory receipt reporting requirements, which I feel like that's got to be a red flag. Also this week, Trump is ordered to pay $5 million. Our jury found him liable for sexually abusing former Elle columnist E. Jean Carroll in the 90s. He was also found to have defamed her on his Truth Social platform, calling her accusations a hoax, and she was awarded $5 million in compensatory and punitive damages. She had accused Trump of raping her in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman, but the jury did not find him to be liable for that. We love seeing Republicans get theirs.
I love seeing terrible people get theirs.
Yeah, which, I mean, isn't the word interchangeable?
No.
Okay, that's all I've got for news.
I mean, I need to talk about Beyonce for 1 second before we move on.
Okay, talk about Beyonce.
So the Renaissance World Tour just opened on May 10th, and if you were lucky enough to be there, you'll remember that the opening screen of the show before it started was rainbow colors appearing like a staticky TV, but by the time the screen was completed, it was the progressive pride flag that we've all come to know and love. She said when she won her Grammy for Best Dance Recording that she dedicated that win to the queer community for your love and for inventing the genre. And she has now kicked off this tour in like the biggest homage to the queer community that's probably ever been seen on like a pop star stage. And as you were pointing out, every bathroom for the tour is gender neutral. So I can't wait to go in August when she comes to Boston. But, you know, thanks Beyonce for giving love back to the queers who have, you know, put you where you are.
Wow. We're gonna do an interview now, but stick around. We forgot to mention, so in solidarity with the writers who are striking in Hollywood, we are going to do, me and Bob's are bringing back 5 faves, these are our 5 favorite shows that you should watch that have already happened, that are completed as the writer's strike begins to affect upcoming projects. So you're gonna get a little bit of me and Bob's TV taste, get some new shows to watch, and we wanna hear yours too. So first we will do your interview with Amber from The Squealing Pig, but stick around for 5 faves later.
Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out upstairs at The Squealing Pig on a really nice sunny spring day with Amber Lord. She's the manager. Somebody's creeping up behind you. Do you want to make a little guest appearance? Say hi, Mike. We'll get to him later.
And there's a lot to break down with him.
But you've been managing the pig for a long time now.
Yes. I think I started in 2008, 2009 full-time. And then I took a little break in 2018 and then just came back last year full-time.
Born and raised on the Cape.
Yes, parents met in Provincetown, and they brought me home to Provincetown, and then I grew up in Wellfleet.
How old old were you when you went to Wellfleet? I remember you telling a story once where you were like, I was an adult and I wanted to live in the big city of Wellfleet.
Yes. I was 5 when we moved to Wellfleet. Yeah, that was the big city.
Oh my god.
But I loved coming from my childhood. I always loved coming into Provincetown just to walk around in the off season. Yeah.
It's a nice place to grow up.
Yeah.
And we actually met in 2006 at Edwige at night, which is behind,
Right there.
on the other side of this lattice. It's called Freeman's now.
But it'll always be Edwige at night to me.
To me too.
Yeah.
That was a really fun place to work.
Yes, it's family. They're family.
And I just remember when I first met you, I was like, this person is somebody that I really want to work with.
Yeah.
Like you're funny, you know what you're doing, you're professional. It's, like a whole fun family vibe with you.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what you foster here too.
I try, yeah. And we've got some of the Edwige at night folks working here now that have kind of migrated
A whole 10 feet.
east. Yeah. I know, I move far when I change jobs, don't I?
And so this is 7 days a week now.
7 days a week. Right now we're 11 to 9, Monday, or Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday we are 11 to 10 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just lunch and dinner these days.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Full on. We're a good little local spot.
And this upstairs area was created during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, we had gone for the seating in 2018 and had gotten approved and everything, but it never really got used at that point because there were still a few other hurdles to go through. And but then during the pandemic, we were able to open it up here. So we are going to be getting an awning installed. I'm not sure quite when, but it'll make our shoulder season longer, and we'll be able to employ more people. Because we need a whole, one server for this spot. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
And one of the few places where you really can sit outside on the water-facing side
Yes.
and eat.
Yes.
This is super beautiful. Obviously, I have a deeply sentimental attachment to that beach and that view.
Yeah.
Like we would always park our bikes there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
this part of town feels like home.
Yes. So I haven't left.
Speaking of home,
Yes.
how old's Bennett now?
So my son is 10. He's in 4th grade at Truro Central School, and he is something else. Yeah. I mean, you've seen him. Yeah.
10.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And as hard as it is to stay here, like we know lots of people losing their housing, like you guys really have to put a lot of effort into wanting to be here. Like, what makes you want to stay?
My child, Bennett. I mean, I want him to have a similar upbringing to what I had. And I want him to have exposure to all different types of people. I want him to feel safe. As I was saying, I feel like he's safe here. There's definitely been thoughts of moving to another state, because I think it would be easier to just living. And what terrifies me, one, is the school shootings, and two, just everything that he would be exposed to.
Right.
So we stay, and it's a struggle, but we work our butts off and we make it work. We were able to build a house here, and it's I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And yeah.
You guys are doing it.
Yeah. But it's work,
Right. Yeah. Speaking of work, Mr. Lord, who just appeared a second ago, you guys have been working here together for a number of years.
Yeah, like 10 years maybe.
And as somebody who worked in the same restaurant with my husband for 11 or 12 before he decided to move on, who's the boss?
I am. I am.
Does he know that?
He does know that. He's very good with that. He knows. He is a professional, and we definitely bounce ideas off each other. But I'm the boss, and he has, he has his strong points in certain things with the restaurant business, and I have mine.
Right. You've both been doing it your whole
Yeah,
lives.
yes. Yeah, he's worked at like basically almost every restaurant in this town.
And then when you get home, who's the boss there?
I am. Yes. I say,
can't wait
Mike,
for
can
Mike
you
to
go
watch
get
this."
me this? And he does. The poor thing. Last night he got home, he was like hobbling around. I was like, can you get me some water?
He's like, I clocked out.
Yeah.
I drove home.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's nice. It's fun. It's fun. It's actually fun. It was fun for us.
Yeah, I think it was, and it makes our marriage, I think, stronger, and it helps us in our marriage communicate and like, yeah.
Like I remember for me, whenever I would be at the bar like completely stressed out, I knew if I just walked to the kitchen for a minute, I would walk by him and he would smile and I would be like, it would calm me down
Oh, really?
for like a minute. Like just as long as I needed it to calm me down.
Yeah.
Like it worked. Peter's a very calming
Yeah,
presence.
Mike isn't. So I don't have that, but I know that if I'm like, he can like, you know, he can. I mean, he doesn't talk me off the ledge.
But he gets up on the ledge with you.
Yes, he'll get up there with me, and then usually I have to talk him down. So that's how it works.
Put a partner in life.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes to come talk to us. You guys, please come say hi to them. They're one of my
Yes.
favorite families in town. Amber is one of my favorite people that I know here.
Yay.
I love you so much. Thank
Love you too.
And I will see you soon.
All right.
All right.
Love
Thanks,
you.
guys. Happy Mother's Day, Amber. I love you.
Please welcome Matt King.
Back to promote the Food and Wine Festival, your third annual.
It is. I can't believe it's year 3 for this. But I have something for you.
Oh.
What?
Yup.
Ooh.
Let me just
Pretty.
garnish this. I was busy making these in the last spot, so we want to make sure we have this ready.
These
for
look
you.
like Aperol spritzes to me.
They are. So normally, I always bring you guys some morning wine, but there's a specific reason.
Man, this is so good.
Not just because I know you love these.
Yeah, why? This is booze. This isn't just wine.
Yeah, I have to work later.
This is the first time that we are introducing spirits into the Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, no way. That's really
So
cool.
look for some new events that will be happening throughout the Food and Wine Festival that will include spirits, cocktails, and all sorts of different libations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
like what? What prompted this
So
move?
people are going to be drunker? I'm just kidding.
Faster.
I don't know if that's possible, but they're going to try.
Perfect.
Yeah, faster is better, yeah. This being the third year, we've had such momentum coming into this. I thought perhaps maybe by year 4 or 5 we would be at this point, but we're at it now. So we're elevating this to a much broader spectrum. So we want to incorporate everyone, to get everyone involved. But just because we're bringing spirits into this doesn't mean that we're not enhancing the festival in other ways, because we have a family-friendly event that's happening this year. It will be on Saturday. I'm only going to tease it now because I don't have all of the specifics and logistics need to be worked out for this, but it will be on Saturday morning, and it will be called First Dig, and it will be on the flats, and I have been working with the Shellfish Constable for this amazing free family-friendly event.
Oh, that's
during the
really
festival.
cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I can imagine what it is. That's really exciting.
So
You've said everything but exactly what it
Shellfish, digging, the flats.
yeah,
is. What makes it family friendly that children can participate?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we want them to work.
The parents still get to drink though, right? Every
Yes.
family friendly event in my family meant the parents were drinking.
There will be a watering hole nearby
Perfect.
to supply fuel for the adults. Yes, we
And
want
like
to
pixie
encourage-
sticks for the kids.
We want to encourage everyone to be able to come to town. So the big shift this year is that we're having complimentary free events on every major day of the festival. It starts on Wednesday and it goes through Sunday, but on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have complimentary events. So we have the gallery stroll on Friday, we have First Dig on Saturday, and we have the pie competition on Sunday at the
Really
Commons.
cool.
We're amping up all of those to be able to go to bigger capacity for everything. So
Nice.
a lot of
That's
new
great.
things happening for the festival.
Do you have your like major sponsors lined up who are going to do those big dinners?
So The way this is working this year, it's a little different in terms of how we're organizing that. So we're able to do more dinners and more events throughout. So normally we have between 10 and 12 events, but we're expanding that. So hopefully we'll have about 20 different events.
Nice.
So there won't just be one dinner on a Friday, there'll be 4 to 5 different dinners.
Really
that you
great.
you can choose whichever restaurant you want that's participating in this. So we're really trying to amp this up and give more to the town so the town can do a lot more. Yeah. So,
I was just at the Visitor Services Board meeting, and we just got this new platform that uses cell phone data to like tell us about people in town. And I don't know if you know, but the first weekend in November, I think is up 21%. Yeah, so the first weekend in November since the start of the Food and Wine Festival is up 21%, which just proves if you build it, they will come.
right. So I was really excited to hear that information. It's the first time I've gotten some like solid numbers back from the tourism board, which is fantastic. I run a survey every year, so to give me confidence about the festival, but it's nice to get it from another source that's slightly unbiased from that.
And also, like I've felt it. Be someone who's here typically that weekend, I felt the energy being a bit higher because of the Food and Wine Festival.
But the reason I'm here in May, and I'm usually here in May to talk about fundraising and sponsorship, is we're doing something very unique, and the tourism board is very excited that we're doing this. We're partnering with another festival. So we are partnering with Tennessee Williams Festival. We're co-sponsoring their gala event, which is happening June 3rd on Saturday. If they want information about that, you can get tickets. It's going to be held at Harbor Hotel. The Food and Wine Festival, as well as Duckhorn Vineyards, is sponsoring their gala event. So it's going to be a big to-do there. We wanted to, there's only so much grant money that can be given out for that board. So leveraging off of another festival's grants is what we're doing. So we're trying to amp that up. We think that our audience overlaps slightly. They have such longer history of being around, where we're a new festival, we're only in year 3, they're in year like, I don't know, 110 or whatever. So we want to help them, they want to help us, and
That's
we can
awesome.
do that. So we're really excited about that. Their festival is in September, of course, and Ken reached out to me with this idea, and I thought it was fantastic. So we're really helping out with that gala.
That's
and
awesome.
wanted to push that. That's June 3rd at Harbor. So
What time is that on June 3rd?
in the afternoon. Go to their website.
What's the theme for this upcoming year?
The theme for the Food and Wine Festival is local food for global wines. So we had a lot of feedback from people saying regional stuff. So I said we're going right to the food this year. So it's everything local. There'll be a new aspect to the grand tasting. A lot of people say been there, done that with the grand tasting. We're doing a huge emphasis on food and wine pairing. So there'll be all sorts of options of food to have at the grand tasting, to explore food and wine pairings with experts to guide you along the way. If you just want to go there for drinks, that's fine too. That's the majority of people. But also over at the Commons, they're expanding the pie competition. We'll have sweet and savory, and we'll be pairing stuff as well. So there's a lot of we're amping everything up a little bit more this year.
That's
So,
really exciting.
Yeah.
Have you picked your judges for the pie contest yet?
I don't do that. They do that. I don't know. Weren't you a judge last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because I want to judge pies again. That was like one of the most fun days I had all year.
I don't know. Reach out to the Commons.
Do you need, and one last thing, do you need any volunteers, or you're starting with that yet?
Anytime you want to reach out to the website and reach out to me, yes, volunteers are always welcome. Because we have so many complimentary events, we'll need a lot more staff. We're hoping that the grand tasting is at least 30% more than we had last year, so we're trying to staff that up. So the more volunteers we have, and if you volunteer, you get complimentary tickets to other things that are in the festival. So believe me, it's worth it to volunteer. You're volunteering, right?
I am.
So first weekend in November, the Provincetown Food and Wine Festival put it on the calendar, and you'll probably be back in the fall to talk about more details.
Oh yeah, we'll be here to get all the details. But follow us on Instagram and the website as well for all the updates. We're continuously updating that, so watch as it grows and reach out and plan an event.
Thanks.
We'll see
And
you
thanks
soon.
for this.
And here's this week's artist spotlight, Miss Barbara Cohen. Take it away, Barbara.
Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out with the artist Barbara Cohen, who's an abstract painter and sculptor and photographer. You do it all.
And I'm going on American Idol.
Are you really?
No, that's a joke.
Thanks for making some time to come and talk to us.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship to Provincetown, when you came, why you stayed, what keeps you here.
Berta Walker is responsible for me getting here. She showed my work across from the post office in that small little gallery. 1992, 1993. And then she said to me it would be better for you to be here in the summer. So the icon, Tam Hapgood, she had a little tiny, I called it tree house on Allerton Street. It's above a garage where a lot of artists and writers have lived. And she offered me a place to live for $2,000 for the season, for one person and $2,500 for two. And I knew I had to take it for two. If she saw me with two people one day, like she'd kill me. And she also said, don't eat any of the raspberries. She's a real classic Provincetown person. So she had me here, and I was in that little cottage for a long time. And I started my books there, and I was riding my bicycle every morning. I came in May of 93. And I rode my bicycle all over Provincetown and took photos, and then I made cards and magnets to support my abstract work. And I had these cards in about 7 or 8 stores. But people got to know me for the cards and magnets, so they'd say, oh, I have your artwork in my house. And I said, where is it?
On the fridge.
On the fridge. But anyway, so I had, then I fell in love and I moved over to the water, and then I got a studio on Henchey Lane, and that's where my studio is now. And I designed it so that I could do 18-foot paintings, abstract paintings.
Nice.
So, I've since been in several other galleries, and I just lost AMP. They just closed down. So I'll be showing at farm projects, which Susie Nielsen has shown me throughout her years of being in Wellesley. But I love Provincetown, and it's beautiful, and it's supported my work, and I live at the kibbutz now, which is right beside Fenitzis. It's right in the water, and we were in the water for the storm. But anyway, I've lived there for about three years, 3 winters. But I usually went to New York in the winter. But I've been here, coming here on and off since 1972. I know I'm dating myself because I'm 74. But anyway, so that's about it in a nutshell. And this work came about during the very, very beginning of the pandemic. I was in New York, and I lived on 73rd and Broadway, right across the street from Fairway. So I would bundle up, and I just had a knee replacement, and I'd take my little tractor and load up on bags, and I would go to Fairway, and I came home, and all of a sudden I found these little tiny bags in my drawer, and I started painting vegetables on them, just like as drawings.
Right.
And those were about 5 inch by 5 inch, and then I went big time. And this is pretty much the way I love to paint. I'm very loose and large. It doesn't always fill up Provincetown one-room apartment. Anyway, so I did about 20 of these, and I did them in my studio in Provincetown because my apartment wasn't big enough. So I took the little bags, came here, and did these. But my basic system of work is to start very small, like very, very tiny, like little tiny Polaroids. And then I do drawings and enlarge them, and sooner or later they just become like 5, 8 foot paintings.
Do you entertain people to come to your studio and check out what you're working on?
I do.
Where on Henchey Lane?
24B, it's at the very end on the top floor.
Nice.
And I have a lot of my older pieces there, but it's great that the Commons gave me a show here. So I had all these vegetables all over the walls. And they've had them sort of ever since. I think it was like a couple of years ago. So they had them downstairs, and they're doing construction, but I'm just so appreciative.
And what about the books?
And the books, I've been doing books of Provincetown for a very long time. I had a Dune Shack that I first started, The Dog in the Dunes. I was out there coming here since I think I started that in 1996. It was my Black Labrador. And the first book was a very small format. And then we did a larger one. Charles Fields published this larger one. He's local. And then the Provincetown Arts Press published this one, where I asked the best 60 writers of Provincetown and artists for their most favorite. That's James Lisicki. He's a writer. And, Michael Cunningham was, just, you name it, Paul Lisicki, and it just came to me that I wanted to do, I thought it was going to be my last and final book, but it's not, because I'm working on 2 others now. But Provincetown Arts Press was quite generous to me to publish that book. And so it has all my painted Polaroids and the writings of...
Where can you pick these up?
You can get them at East End Bookstore, Room 68, Womencraft, the new bookstore in town.
Excellent, all over town.
Yeah, all over town. And, Provincetown Art Museum too. And I am working on fabulous scenes and parties of all the dogs in town.
Yeah.
So I have like a deck party and some dogs waiting at Miller's Wharf for a whale watch, but the captain's not there. Dogs everywhere. So.
Nice, so you're going to be busy this summer.
Yeah, well, I am going away this summer.
Oh, okay.
I'm going on an art pilgrimage.
Where?
Well, I was in Skopelos, Greece last year for a residency, an artist residency for 5 weeks, and I absolutely fell in love with Greece. And I'm going to go back there by myself on a pilgrimage, and I'm going to jump islands. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to help at the Skopelos Film Festival, International Film Festival. It's for kids, because the kids don't have that much, and all these international filmmakers come and just volunteer and help these kids. They make their own films. So they asked me to come back for that, and then I'm going to fly to Portugal, and I'm going to check out Portugal. So I'm going to drive down the coast and end up at Madeira Island.
We'll have a great summer.
I'm just taking a break,
Yeah, you need to sometimes.
Yeah, because I've been here all winter. I love the winters here.
Me too.
So.
Well, thanks for making some time to talk to us, and we'll see you in the fall, I guess.
Yeah, and thanks for the invitation to speak with you. Yeah, your show's great.
Thank you.
And your shirts are beautiful. I love them.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
We want to thank our friends at the Commons for making space for that interview with Barbara and all the other fantastic artists we got to chat to this spring.
Yeah.
Now, please welcome to the show Mr. Scott Cunningham, who you might know from Scott Cakes or from the Provincetown Theater, where he's starring in Casa Valentina, which opened last night.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to be here, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations on what I heard was a stellar opening night.
Thank you. Yeah, it went really, it went well. We've been working on it for, 6-7 weeks, and you don't know what you have until you put it in front of an audience. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's written by Harvey Fierstein, Torchstone Trilogy, Hairspray, so it's funny. Mm-hmm. But it's got a great, it's a great story and based on a true story.
Yeah, tell us a little about kind of the themes and the plot a little.
Well, the plot is a bunch of straight men in the Catskills at a resort for cross-dressers. Mm-hmm. So, and the character that I play George and Valentina. He and his wife are the owners of the resort, and they've created this space for these people, for these guys to come and express the female within. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a true story. It was inspired by a box of photographs was found at a flea market years and years ago, and then a book was published of these guys in dressed as women, and Harvey got a hold of it, and then it was the first play that he wrote in 25 years.
Really?
Yeah. So, and he says none of this happened, but all of it's true. The characters are based on real people. Susanna, which is the name of the book, and the documentary that's available on YouTube. You can see that they actually have film of these guys dressed and being interviewed and stuff. So it's really cool. And we're talking 60 years ago.
And you said the play premiered on Broadway almost 10 years ago.
It was on, I think it was April of 14. It opened in London like a year later in 15. Mm-hmm. And I think, I was saying before, I think it was really before its time. Like it's like happening, you know, this all the gender stuff and the trans stuff. I mean, look at it, you know, look, it's all over the place now, and it was well received, but I just don't think. I think it was reviewed by a bunch of straight white men,
Right.
and so it wasn't, you know,
Before
we'd
they
love to see it
understood.
reviewed by some, you know. So, but it's happening now. It's happening now. It's all about gender and.
Yeah, it's kind of like the conversations that we're having now on cable news.
Yeah.
The beginnings of these conversations happened behind closed doors.
For sure.
When this play was taking place in the 60s and 70s. So.
Yeah. And it's not like something that they could just stop doing. It was, you know, and I know people. I'm, you know, friends with cross-dressers who are married to women who, you know, have who have two personas,
Right.
and they come out. We had a couple last night, which was great. You know, so it's been well received, and the cast is really amazing, incredible to work with, and it's special. There's something really special about it.
Yeah.
You know, especially like right now, because we're talking about like right now about outlawing. Putting on a pair of heels and lipstick, making it a sex crime. You know, like that's like what's happening. You know, it's insane. It's insane. You know, so.
Yeah. And it kind of delves into the different relationships these men have with cross-dressing, correct? And how they all approach it differently, and kind of there's tension between them because of that, right?
Very much, because the subject of homosexuality is always, because the assumption is always that, well, you must be homosexual.
Right.
Many of them are, you know, most are not, and then it's, you know, that's like part of the whole story, because there's a few lines in the play. It's like gray area, you know. And there is the thing that I like about so much. There is no answer. There is no answer on the spectrum of, you know, one thing of sexuality, of gender. You know, we're all over the place.
And one of the things I love about this cast is that, you know, David Drake is really kind of cultivating a really nice sort of like repertory company.
Yeah.
Like you've got Ann Stott and William Mullen and Polly Hawley. Like, so you've worked with a lot of these people before.
I
right?
have. I've worked with William and Ann and Polly, Tom. We just did something with, and I've done readings with John. Yeah.
A lot of familiar faces on stage this weekend.
Is this your first time in a sort of like gender illusion drag, or have you done that before?
Yeah, we did. I actually did some hosting at the trans event in Boston at the last 2 years. I was dressed and I did the on-camera interviews, which was really cool, interviewing you know, this 12-year-old trans kid. It's pretty amazing. But I also did, we did it with David years ago, 10 years ago. We did a gender swap, Importance of Being Earnest, and I got to play Gwendolyn.
Oh, cool.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. So when can we see the show?
It is, last night was the 11th, so today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's Thursdays through Sunday, through May 28th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2.
So the next 3 weekends?
So the next 3 weekends, and ends that Sunday of Memorial Day weekend.
Excellent. I see a pink box
Yeah,
next
I was.
to you.
I
what's in the
figured,
pink-
what
what's
the hell,
in the box?
What the hell kind of guest would I be if I didn't bring you all Scott cakes? What kind of lame? I don't know if I'm going to apply. I mean, you want to do? You know, you mix?
Oh yeah. This is
Are
just
you
coffee.
Are you allowed to?
Oh my
I
God,
thought
the
you weren't
big
allowed to
one-
eat
the
on
big
camera.
ones?
I'm not allowed to eat on camera, but there's a video right after this during which I will swallow a cupcake whole.
Oh my God.
Harrison, you can have one for.
I'm going to unhinge my jaw like an anaconda and swallow this whole. Thank you so much for the cupcakes and for coming. Break a leg tonight. Have
Thanks
a great
so much,
weekend.
you guys.
And
Yeah,
we'll come
and-
see you soon.
Head over to the Provincetown Theater and get some tickets or their website. But now we have Jeff from Test and Treat to tell you about their new initiative, Update the App.
Hi y'all, it's Jeff from Test and Treat here with this week's Update That App events. Update That App is a month-long promotion of the free services available at Test and Treat. We have year-round testing, treating, PrEP, PEP, Mpox vaccines, linkage to HIV care, all that in a sex-positive, stigma-free environment located at Provincetown's Outer Cape Health Services. Our number is 774-538-3350. We had so much fun last week at the Bearded Mistess Can reveal and at the Provincetown Brewing Company. Thanks to them for doing it. And also, I'm a little achy from all that cornholing. So that was a great time at the Post Office Cafe and Cabaret, so thanks very much to them. And I also wanted to say congratulations to our winning team, whoever they were. This week we have 2 events coming up on Monday, May 15th at 6 p.m. here at the Provincetown Brewing Company. I'll be co-hosting Go Fish with Harrison Fish. Or maybe Bearded Mistress will be. And then the second event will be Tuesday, May 16th at the Crown and Anchor. We are going to be having movie night. The movie that we're showing is Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean. And if you haven't seen it, girl, you gotta see it. Everybody I show this movie to goes, how have I never seen this movie? It's Sandy Dennis, it's Karen Black, it's Kathy Bates, and it's Cher in one of her first roles. So that is Wave Bar at Crown and Anchor. 7 p.m. doors open, movie starts at 8. All free. Come and see us.
Update your app.
Yes.
Get tested.
Yeah.
Know your status.
It's good to know before everything gets crazy and it's summer. But now we've got our computer open in front of us. We are going to bring back 5 faves. We did this for our 5 favorite Christmas movies this past holiday season. This time, in solidarity with the writers who are striking, we are doing our 5 favorite completed television shows because things might start to slow down if the writer's strike doesn't get figured out.
Yeah, the last time the writers striked, it lasted over 100 days.
Damn.
So we might be without new written television for a while. So these are some of the best written television shows of all time that you can stream and binge now from home or from wherever you are with your laptop or your device.
Our opinions.
Yes. Every opinion expressed on this show is solely that of Harrison or me.
Yeah. Let's take it away. Andrew, put one up on the screen.
Oh, we're on a delay.
Oh, we're on a delay. We should have done the StreamYard.
So here's mine. This is my first one. This is My So-Called Life, which only aired for 1 season on ABC in 1994 to 1995. It introduced the world to Claire Danes, who was 15. I was also 15 when this came on. I am now older than the actors who were playing her parents then, I realized last night when I was doing this. Like the actors were like 38 years old, and I'm older than that now. But it is still, I think, I was rewatching some of it last night, the best depiction of American teenage life. A lot of it is still so prescient. It was also one of the first openly gay teenage characters on television. Ricky, Angela's best friend. Watch it. It's on Hulu right now. You can watch the whole thing. There were only 19 episodes. You'll finish it before the writer's strike is over.
Who's next? Okay, so this is one of mine. It is a cartoon, and I know that's going to be a hard sell, but this is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is one of those shows that I constantly suggest that people watch, and I've suggested it to a plethora of people, and not a single one of them has it not turned into one of their favorite shows of all time. You're going to want to watch this show if you are really big into things like Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, anything where there's this immersive world building in it. It's really credible. It's really special. It was a kid show, aired on Nickelodeon in the 2000s. They've done a spin-off that is just as incredible. But they put this on Netflix a couple months into the pandemic, and it became the most watched animated show on Netflix ever, one of the highest rated shows on Netflix ever. Netflix purchased the property, and if the writer's strike gets figured out, there will be a live action of this. And if you're not a cartoon fan, I would suggest that you put that on the list of things to watch as soon as it comes out. But this is a really special show. It's really beautiful. It covers some adult themes, but it's just fun and amazing. It's high fantasy. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
What's next? Oh, you know what? So I was narrowing down my favorite half-hour comedies, and it was between this and Arrested Development, and I had to give it to Sex and the City because of the last couple of seasons of Arrested Development that they made like 10 years later weren't that great. Granted, they rebooted this, and it's not that great. And the 2 movies, I know you feel differently than I do, were an utter debacle.
Okay, the first movie is one of the best films ever.
Terrible movie. The second one is even worse. But this show, when it was on, like I was in college, all of us gays who were like 20 at the time had viewing parties. Everybody learned how to make a Cosmo at home, and we all identified with one or 2 or all of them.
Who are you?
I was a Cynthia Nixon, obviously.
I'm a Miranda.
/ Carrie.
I'm a Miranda.
You're all Miranda?
Very Miranda.
I think you're pretty Samantha when it comes to the summertime in Provincetown.
Wow, I wish that were true.
We're gonna bring back the Boy Beach orgy.
So Sex and the City was one that just missed my list, but it's one of my favorites as well.
Not all of the episodes stand the test of time, but go back and watch it.
So this is one of my favorites. It's called Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23. It ran for 2 seasons. let's see, so this stars, this 2 seasons. It aired in 2012 to 2014. It stars Kristen Ritter, who is like should be fully a gay icon, and Dreama Walker as unlikely roommates that move in together, and one's like a Midwest sweet girl and one's like a crazy New York City party girl. If you like things like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Broad City, Schitt's Creek, this is the show for you. It's infinitely quotable, so much fun. So it also stars James Van Der Beek, who plays James Van Der Beek, but a like horrible, egotistical monster version of himself. It constantly references Dawson's Creek, so if you were into Dawson's Creek, it's also a good one. Tons of celebrity guest stars who mostly play off James Van Der Beek, so they're also playing kind of ridiculous versions of themselves. Dean Cain, Kiernan Shipka, Kevin Sorbo, Charo, Frankie Muniz, Mark Paul Gosselaar all play themselves. But it's an easy, fun, incredible watch, and that is all available on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, Hulu.
My next pick is 6 Feet Under. So, as you know, our friend Alan Poole was one of the producers of this. It, to me, is still the best television pilot ever produced and the best series finale that I've ever seen. 5 seasons of like psychological dysfunction, family relationships, funny, dark, sad, and ahead of its time. I mean, this came out in 2001. That was, you know, a lot of these shows were like gay representation for the first time to me. And we had Michael C. Hall playing David, who was like the sort of like frustrated gay guy. Amazing acting. Oh, the acting, the writing, all of it. I mean, it's on HBO Max now. You can watch all 5 seasons. It's a deep dive. Go for it.
It's also one of the reasons Sia is famous. So her song is the play-out song of the first of the finale,
yeah.
And it's like what put Sia on the map.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I had such a crush on Peter Krause back then. Right?
Mark is praising.
Oh my God.
Who's next? Okay, so this is American Dad, another animated show. I'm sorry, but this is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's a Seth MacFarlane show. It's based on like kind of a conservative father who's in the CIA, even though that kind of gets let go pretty quickly, and their family. He's also harboring an alien named Roger, one of the greatest characters written ever, in my opinion. His kind of thing is because he's an alien, he's constantly dressing up as like personas and alter egos, and they become ridiculous stories. But what was really special about this happening right now, so Trinity the Tuck and Trixie Mattel of Drag Race fame are doing a thing this week where they are honoring Roger as a member of the drag community, and this is a fundraiser for the Trevor Project. For every tweet that gets the hashtag American Drag, they're gonna donate up to $20,000 to the Trevor Project. It's fun. It also features Patrick Stewart as a regular character, and you're gonna love this. Mariah Carey is a huge fan of the show, and she often will do like one-liner characters. Like they'll have a maid walk by and be like, "Oh, I finished cleaning your house. There's just this one thing," and Mariah Carey voices it because she's such a huge fan of the show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this still is airing on CBS, but I think there's about 16 seasons of it, all available on Hulu. It is so much fun, and I think the picture is of all of Roger's personas, all of his drag personas. So check it out. It is so much fun.
My next pick is 30 Rock. I had to go with a workplace comedy. This, you know, in the grand tradition of workplace comedies dating back to like Cheers, Taxi, News Radio, this is the one that stands on top of all of them for me. Tina Fey has always been one of my favorite writers. And actually, I think the 2nd or 3rd season of 30 Rock was the last writer's strike. So that 2nd season was like 10 episodes instead of 20. It's just funny from start to finish. They have had to take a couple of these episodes off the internet because of, you know, blackface and stuff like that. So a couple of the shows that I picked were doing things that you could no longer get away with today. I will defend what they were doing because those episodes were about how awful blackface is and how you shouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
But of course, in order to do that, they did it.
Right.
And those were yanked. But you can watch all of the episodes except for those 2. There were 2 blackface episodes on Hulu.
Okay, this was one of mine. This was fairly recently. It is a limited series, so it is only 1 season. It is one of the best shows I've ever watched. I can't believe Bob hasn't watched it ever.
Well, it was about a pandemic and it came out during the pandemic.
That is true.
So I wanted escapism.
So this is called Station 11. It stars Mackenzie Davis, who is from that episode of Black Mirror, San Junipero, that won an Emmy. She's also from that horrible lesbian rom-com Happiest Season, only because her character was really problematic. Also, Lori Petty, who's a queer icon in my opinion. She was from Tank Girl, A League of Their Own, and also Orange is the New Black. So this splits the timeline between the outbreak of the pandemic and also 20 years later, following a theater troupe that basically, as the pandemic happened, it created these like little pockets of people who are living together, and they're a theater troupe that travels from group to group during the summers and then performs 2 weeks of Shakespeare shows to like keep theater alive. It is incredibly beautiful, and it's notable because a lot of sociologists have said that this show is a better representation as to how society would react to a pandemic of this scale, where everyone starts killing each other. It's like, that wouldn't happen. Everyone would strive for hope. Everyone would try to support each other. Like, that's what they think, and they think this is a really great representation of what would happen.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's written by the same person who wrote The Leftovers and Made for Love, and he's also developing 2 more companion series based on Station 11.
My final of my 5 fave picks is Mad Men, which ran from 2007 to 2015 on AMC. It was AMC's first original scripted show. Some of the best television writing of all time. Matthew Weiner, I think, won Best Drama Series 4 years in a row for this. Introduced the world to a mid-career Elizabeth Moss, which she does some of the best television acting I've ever seen on this show. The gorgeous and amazing Christina Hendricks, John Slattery, and of course, John Hamm, who everybody loves.
And his bulge.
Yes. But it was such wonderful immersive world building. Like, every time I sat down to watch it, I was like, I'm back in the 50s, in this person's living room with them. It was so well just conceived and beautifully executed every single week. Check it all out. You can find that on Hulu as well. Or Freevee. I think that's on Freevee now, via Amazon Prime. Is that it?
No, I have one more.
Go.
So this is Penny Dreadful, one of my favorite shows ever, but I do think this is the hardest sell on the list. It's classified as horror drama. I don't think it's scary, so I think if you're like, oh, I don't like scary things, you could definitely watch it.
Who is she?
So this is starring Josh Hartnett. He's like just on the cusp of his daddy era, and he looks fine. And maybe there's a gay love story involving him. Who knows? It also has Timothy Dalton, who is a former James Bond and he is fully formed daddy. He is so hot in this. And it also stars Ava Green. So this show pulls characters from classic horror. It has Dorian Gray, Dr. Jekyll, Frankenstein, Dracula, Lucifer, and kind of weaves them together in a way that isn't corny at all. And the biggest selling point of this, in the second season, there is a single episode that heavily features a character played by Patti LuPone. It is one of the best episodes of television I have ever watched in my life.
Do you have to watch everything leading up to it to get it? Could I just watch that?
No, you should watch the whole thing. It has some of the most beautiful dialogue I've ever seen in a television or a film. It is incredible. Patti LuPone then comes back in the 3rd season to play a different character. Basically, the main character is a psychologist in a way that, like, this woman is so crazy, someone from her past is now her psychologist, and she's like, I don't know what's going on, I'm crazy. But there's 3 seasons of it. It's fully finished. It wraps up perfectly, and it is amazing. This is one of those shows I cannot oversell enough. It is gorgeous, gorgeous.
Support the writers, you guys.
Do you have one more? Did
No,
I start?
I think I started.
Awesome. Comment your favorite shows.
Yeah, what were your favorite shows? What is the best television writing of all time? We want to know what you guys think too.
Yeah, and we'll check some of them out.
Is that a show?
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
We only went 8 minutes over. We crammed so much into the show. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. And thank you for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are, thank our sponsors.
Yes, the Crown and Anchor, the Provincetown Brewing Company, the Boat Slip, the Brass Key, and Provincetown Business Guild.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next Friday.
Bye.
Happy Mother's Day.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown.